Hi, and welcome to Wonder Years Wednesday. I'm Wendy Sellers, but the kids called me the Puberty Lady. And I decided to do something new this week, and so I'm going to quickly overview 5 books that are to help prepare families for menarche. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is menarche? And I don't blame you, because menarche is the fancy word for a person's first menstrual cycle or period. So let's go ahead and get started. The first book I'd like to introduce you to is called Moon Mother, Moon Daughter: Myths and Rituals That Celebrate a Girl's Coming of Age. And it's written by Janet Lucy and Terry Allison. Now, this book was published in 2012, and it has 175 pages of guidance for mothers who want to celebrate their daughters growing into womanhood with the same positive enthusiasm as she greeted the rest of her daughters' firsts, such as taking a first step or saying a first word. It includes stories from mythology and real life that reveal truths about the multiple aspects of being a woman, and it provides mother-daughter activities to support the daughter's positive development. It includes some rites of passage, and it suggests ways to approach the topic of sexual intimacy. This book will help mothers to prepare daughters of all ages to celebrate growing up, whether it's at menarche, before she begins menstruating, or during the years when she is menstruating. The next book I would like to introduce you to is called Reaching for the Moon, and it's written by Lucy Pierce. This paperback book was published in 2015, and it also comes in French and Dutch. It has 115 pages of positive messages about celebrating womanhood and planning for a menarche celebration. It takes a distinctly non-traditional approach to the mystical and spiritual aspects of menstruating, and it creates a beautiful and empowering net of support for girls to care for themselves during their moon time. The next book is called Before She Gets Her Period: Talking with Your Daughter About Menstruation. This book is written by Dr. Jessica Gillooly, and this book was published in 1998, so it's a bit older, but I kept it on my list because it's full of such helpful information and guidance for talking with a daughter about menarche and growing up. The author suggests that you start preparing your daughter for menarche at age 8. And it gives lots of factual information about menstruation and diagrams about the reproductive system that the adult can pass on to their daughter. It also has a helpful section on ways to start having talks with your daughter, even if she's a little bit hesitant about having the conversation. And it has a section that I've not seen in other books about menstruation, about how to talk to the men in your life about menstruation. So whether it's dads or brothers, we all need to know about menstruation so we can be supportive. The next book is called Aurita: Rites of Passage for Youth of African Descent in America. And this book is written by Marilyn and Warren May. It was published in 2000 and includes 170 pages of guidance for creating a rite of passage for young people who are experiencing puberty. In this country, we do not have good rites of passage for our young people as they approach adulthood. And so this is kind of an exciting opportunity to create something like that. While it's not specifically related to menarche or just for girls, it provides reasons and ways to establish a rite of passage program that could mark the onset of new responsibilities and maturity and could be applied to menarche. The book is Bible-based and in the culture of the African diaspora, but I think it could be adapted to other cultures also. The last book is the only book that I'm overviewing that is written for girls themselves. The other 4 are written for parents, guardians, caregivers, and other trusted adults. So this one is for girls, and it's titled This Is Me, A Girl's Journal. It's written by Julie Metzger, and it was published in 2014, and it has 144 pages of writing prompts that encourage pre-adolescent girls to explore their feelings, thoughts, and values as they go through puberty. The pages are sprinkled with information, but there's not a lot of specific information in this book because it has plenty of space for writing. It has a ribbon to mark the place where the author and reader left off so they can find their place. And while the journal's not specifically about menarche, it promotes a lot of body positivity and prompts lots of opportunities for reflection about the changes that take place during puberty. And what girls, pre-adolescent girls, don't love a good journal, right? So, how are these books not inclusive? Um, as much as I included 5 books and tried to make sure that they represented a broad spectrum of inclusivity, books about menstruation seem to focus exclusively on girls and women. But we all know that people other than girls and women can menstruate. Anyone with a uterus can menstruate, and that includes trans folks and genderqueer folk. And so I did a little bit of searching and I found a coloring book that is very inclusive about menstruation. And so I'm going to include the link to that in the comment section if you're interested in seeing that. And then I also found a novel that was written for girls and boys ages 4 to 7. And it tells the story of a girl who's going through puberty and has a moon ceremony that's in keeping with her Mexican heritage. And her best friend is a genderqueer young person. And so that book also might be good for your child to read if you want to. Um, so many people who menstruate, as you may or may not know, miss days of school and days of work, whether it's because of illness or because they lack menstrual products or places where they can have good hygienic practices and privacy for managing menstruation. So let's stop that, okay? Let's improve upon that. And so we can do that by talking more. And parents and other trusted adults, you truly set the stage for your young person's experience of menstruation. And so, given all of the stigma and shame around periods, I hope that you will use some of these books that I overviewed to help prepare your children of any gender to view menstruation positively. So, whether your child will menstruate or not, all of us can be supportive and respectful of those who do menstruate. So thank you for joining me today for Wonder Years Wednesday, and I'll be back again next week at 4 o'clock if I don't have technical trouble like I did today. And until then, I hope you stay well. Thank you.